Thank you, Kayla. What a task to close the Vatican's Youth Symposium. I do want to focus more on the call to action because I think that my distinguished panelists have said everything that I have planned to say. And this is not just a space for conversation, but is to do something. And we are going to do something. And I'm happy that SESN Youth is going to lead with the help of all of you. Firstly, I want to start thanking the people who have made this possible. To our host, His Eminence Cardinal Tarkson, Sister Helen, thank you so much for allowing us to host this event and for opening the doors of this incredibly beautiful and historical building. I know that this is the most remarkable venue we ever had the privilege to be in, and it's one that we'll never forget. Of course, to the person who unfortunately is not here, but she made it possible, Dr. Betsy Parker, we are incredibly grateful for her trust in us and for her generosity and her support in being a true champion of meaningful youth engagement. To Professor Jeffrey Sachs for pushing us to continue advocating for sustainable future and for supporting the mission of SESN Youth and being a champion for this initiative since its inception 10 years ago. To Gabriela Marino, who, without her, you wouldn't be here. A round of applause, please. Exactly. And last but certainly not least, Kayla, I think I told you many, but we have many long calls to make this a reality, including a 5-hour long call. So, and of course, Tara, Antonio, Valentina, Nardos, Phil, who is not here, Faith, everybody at the SESN Youth who have contributed to this event, and all of you for attending and joining us. This event has become more special to me than I thought because my first connection to SESN was 5 years ago, 5 years, when I first joined Global Schools as a volunteer, and my first ever task was to take notes for the 2020 Vatican Youth Symposium. And now I was the one hosting it, so it has become a true full circle moment. I am now a full-time employee of the SESN Secretariat. I'm leading SESN Youth. What else can I ask for? It's incredible. But I do want to go back to my opening speech and what I said in the morning yesterday. And I know it was a very early morning, but I challenge you to something. Does anybody remember what I challenged you to? Can anybody remember? Yeah, to talk to each other, exactly. I challenge you to speak to as many people as possible and to start a conversation, sharing challenges, insights, projects. So, how many of you actually took that challenge? Let's see the hands. Yeah, higher. Who did? That's so wonderful. I'm so proud. This is great to see. This is exactly what this space was meant for, to step out, to make connections, share ideas, and to establish collaborations that are not just going to stay in the Vatican City, but they are going to lead the next years. And this is the true value of this experience, that it doesn't matter what happened within these walls, but how we choose to carry forward. And throughout the 2 days, we had heard incredible ideas. We have heard incredible projects. I'm sure that everybody learned something new. We have talked about the role of AI, new skills and education, nature-based solutions and cities of tomorrow, the importance of protecting human trafficking victims and bringing together people to promote peace, the importance of protecting the Amazon and engaging young people in climate policy discussions, the relevance of putting innovation at the center of sustainable solutions, and how the world is going to look like in the 2030. And what can I say? I am very excited to see the world in 2030 because I know that each one of you will be leading that. In these conversations, in these discussions, that is the foundation of change. I know that we heard a lot about hope yesterday, but coming into space, I don't think there's another word that defines this experience better. So I want to take it back, think about hope, and remind everybody that there is a bright future ahead. As we conclude this event, I want to encourage each one of you to, as soon as you go back to your home countries, share with your friends, share with your families, share with your coworkers, tell them what you learned, tell them how you felt. We come together to fuel your work, to shape the decisions, and to inspire the future. We come together in this space, and we carry the ideas to our communities. The future is ours to shape, but let's make sure that we build the best possible. And as I said, let's not stop here. Let's keep the momentum going. So because of that, and as I said, I want to focus on the call to action. Professor Sachs already presented a really good idea, meeting every certain time to have discussions, even though they are informal, even though we have very, very brief updates. But I want to do something else. I want to have something that we can take to other events. And because of that, what I want to propose is that we've been taking notes of all the sessions. We have incredible interns watching from the Zoom. And what I want to do is that the main takeaways, the main ideas, the main insights, recommendations, everything, we're going to put it in one document. We're going to call it Recommendations from the Vatican Youth Symposium. Once that is complete, we're going to send it to all of you. All of you are going to sign it. All of you are going to have your organizations sign it. And then that will present us with something tangible, something that we can bring to other events, something that we can present in international, national, and local fora. And I also know that our Leadership Council will for sure love to read those recommendations. So this is what we are going to do. We have only 5 minutes, so if anybody wants to say something, I would love to hear from you. So I will open the floor only for 5 minutes, very, very briefly, and in 15 seconds, please tell me any other ideas of what we can do.
Just a suggestion. However you collect the suggestions, you can take what people have done, draft something, send it out, have people fill in track change, in describing their own programs or things they'd like to add, so that basically you use the next week or two to make a group document. And we've had very good experience with drafting a group document. So you don't have to complete anything right now or worry that it's not, and you don't have to sign something the first time it comes to you, but rather use the next couple of weeks for lots of edits, get the thing together, and then it truly becomes a group document.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Professor Sachs, and we'll love also to get your inputs into that document. So, yeah.
So I'm going to say a quick goodbye because I actually have to be on at 6 o'clock in the next room. So thank you to everybody. Safe travels home, and see you soon.
So 3 minutes, but 3 minutes, open floor, 15 seconds, no more, because we have a lot of people. I would love to hear from the people who haven't spoken at all. What else can we do? And I saw a hand, Yvette.
I was just going to say, as someone who's running a business, I really don't have a lot of time. So for me, the most effective next step is to just make sure that there's somebody, whether it's you or someone, to do the facilitation and make that easier for us, because I personally just couldn't do more.
Now, of course, the CSN Youth is here for that. Somebody else?
So I think to that point, I would say that each of us has a lot that we can teach and learn, but we all have limited time. So to Zan's point, like I would like to offer, Chris and I will host how to access capital sessions. We'll also host, critical thinking content, get your stories out there. We want to elevate you as much as we can, but every single one of us has something that we could host, right? Or we could teach. And I would, pose that each of us be given the opportunity to do that.
Thank you. And we are creating a LinkedIn group, so you are all going to be connected. Max?
I think just to remind everybody in this room that you all have each other's connections and you can all pull on one another for any partnership, support, mutual learning, cross-collaboration. And that's probably your biggest asset coming out of this. So I definitely suggest that.
Yeah, I think we already mentioned this, but just to emphasize, I think maybe for the next symposium, we should bring a discussion about mental health, as we spoke, because sometimes it's difficult to be the light in a with a dark future coming. So it's just a suggestion to all of you.
Thank you so much. Yes, you can applaud to that. I think we're all very, very inspired that you mentioned mental health. And I want to ask everybody, are you feeling good? Yes? Yes? I love to see that. If you're not feeling good, please, you have now 60 more friends to reach out to. So please definitely do so. I think I saw Gaia.
I just wanted also to propose, also listening to what Jeffrey Sachs said before, coming from Europe and knowing that things maybe not as much as the US, but are not going to look so great, hearing from every one of you with different backgrounds, different origins, what pitfalls you might have seen in my words, or what like prejudice or what limitations that maybe each of us could work on already from each other's feedback to do better.
That's a wonderful idea. And accountability is something super important. So thank you for sharing. Somebody else? Oksan?
Just a very practical one. I'd love if the WhatsApp group can stay open. I think particularly for anyone in like the UN space, things like COP, like success at somewhere like COP, it does not depend on the 2 weeks. It depends on like all the strategy you have going into it. So it'd be great to like connect with people, you know, ahead of the sort of other big moments coming up over the next year or whatever. Yeah, thanks.
And also, whatever you are going to a country, if you're traveling to a country where any of these delegates are staying, do reach out for coffee, do reach out to continue these conversations beyond the Vatican. I think I saw Livia.
Yeah, it's good to say in the microphone that I am in Brazil and COP30 is going to be in Brazil. So please talk to me if you are coming to Brazil. Talk to me and let's talk about COP and let's do the best possible COP ever. And I'm really open to everyone who wants to talk about Brazil. And even if you have questions about the country, security or anything, just please reach me out.
Thank you so much for that offering. And I am in Spain where the Finance for Sustainable Development Summit is happening. So if any of you are going to reach out to me. I think I saw somebody, Michael.
Okay, thank you so much to the SDSN leadership and SDSN youth. It has been very impactful for us. So maybe what I can suggest is maybe next time we have regional pre-symposium dialogues, just to have a perspective or maybe an agreement, kind of something like a region like for Africa. We come up with something that we can bring here at the symposium so that we can also improve on the localized and localized youth representation. And then secondly, maybe I can suggest we have a sustainability commitment wall, whereby after the symposium, all of us can sign the commitment that we are going to promote sustainable development and also the Paris Agreement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah, a regional perspective is truly important, even though there's so many countries and so many perspectives still coming together to represent communities like Africa, Latin America, of Asia Pacific are very important. We have Samet.
I just wanted to invite you all on April 14th. There will be a virtual session on meaningful youth participation ahead of the ECOSOC Youth Forum. I'll be sending you the link on the WhatsApp group, but mark the date, April 14th. It will start 9 a.m. New York time, so that's 3 p.m. Europe time, yes. So yeah, we just had one today. We had over 4,000 participants attending virtually, and the one we're having on the 14th will be hopefully even bigger. So that's explaining what youth participation looks like at the UN. So yeah, please tune in if you're interested.
So much. And we also have the ECOSOC Youth Forum in a couple of weeks. And even if you cannot travel to New York, you can still follow some of the conversations. So I highly encourage all of you to tune in. Anybody else? You can also share a feeling, share how the Vatican Youth Symposium made you feel. Anybody? Ilan?
Yes, I think everyone can agree that just meeting the people in this room has just been so inspiring. I'm really proud to get to know a lot of you. I'm feeling sad that we're all splitting up actually after this. So it's really just been a dream to get to know you. And I think my bigger dream is that more young people get to know about you. I feel like from a education and psychology background, kids learn from role models. And I really wish more kids could meet people like you. And if you want to get in touch or just have a little bit more of a stake in education, I'd like to give a call to action for education. I'd love to be your bridge into education, no matter what sector you work in, whether energy, whether entrepreneurship. We'd love for you to start inspiring the next generation of change makers, because again, as we said, there's an amazing group here, but there's not enough of us. And we really need to make this sense of agency and empathy and kindness more mainstream across our world. So I encourage you, let's partner and let's change how we educate our next generations. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Elon. Yeah. I'm also sad we're splitting apart. I am. Elon yesterday said that his goal was to make one partnership with each one of you. So be prepared for that. Anybody else? Eva.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for organizing and for bringing us all together here. So yeah, thank you very much. And feel really grateful. And it was a pleasure meeting and interacting with all of you. And I'm really looking forward to see your amazing careers ahead, because I'm sure that we all can do amazing things. And I really hope that we can stay in touch. So 2 ideas. First one, I would actually like to extend on Laura's idea, because I'm also coming from the healthcare sector. So it would be great if we could discuss about global health or public health, or introduce the health concept into the discussions of the Vatican Youth Symposium in the next years. And another idea that I actually had right now is that it would be great to facilitate intergenerational dialogue between the young leaders, the leaders of the Vatican Youth Forum. So it would be great if we could connect to previous young leaders, although I know it's 6 years ago, but if this is not possible, it would be great if we connect with the people, the young leaders that will be joining the Vatican Youth Symposium from next year ahead. So, yeah.
I have an age question, I guess, for you guys. So we do have Facebook groups for the previous editions, but I'm realizing that maybe a lot of you don't use Facebook anymore, if that's dated. Dating myself, I guess. But I can add all of you to that group if you do have Facebook, or we can find another way to do so.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Kayla, and thank you for your ideas, Eva. Anybody? No? Yes, Bern. Bern first and then Antonio.
So let me also say thank you for having the opportunity and the possibility of being here, knowing that I'm probably not a young leader anymore. It is great, really, the openness, the welcomeness that I have enjoyed the last 2 days. It's great, the conversations that we had. Thanks for all the learnings that I can take, right? This is also something that was mentioned before. I totally agree with Jeff on this, and also never forget that you can bring so much to the table, and you do. So thanks also for this. I'm happy to be here. I'm also happy to stay in contact. And of course, if you have the feeling that I can contribute in any positive way, always feel free to reach out. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for supporting young people. It's very commemorable. I think everybody feels frustrated that sometimes we don't get enough support. So it really means a lot from you and Monica, both of you. I think you also inspire many of us. So thank you. Antonio?
Yeah, thank you so much, first of all, to all of you for the amazing organization and all the hours you put to bring all of us together today and yesterday. Yeah, I think it will be very useful to have sort of a list or some way of all the organizations that we're part of, just to have it as a reference, because I think there's so many amazing projects that people have presented, and rather it's an organization, an entrepreneurship or something, but I think it will be very useful to have it handy and to understand what each of them do. So then if, you know, we want to contact them, it's just easier to stay in touch. Thank you.
Actually, in our program, there's a QR code, and if you scan it, you can access everybody's bios, and you can see what they have been working on, the organization that they're part of. So it's something that the program you can take home, by the way, so you don't need to leave it here, and you can review it, but also we can send it as a follow-up. The program will be online, and of course, we are also going to be sending some follow-up emails, maybe not next week, we need to rest a little, but you will hear soon from us again. Anybody else? Otherwise, I've been told that dinner is ready. Oh, William?
Thank you, Raquel. I recall sitting at the UN General Assembly Hall in September last year and listening to the address from the UN Secretary General during the Summit of the Future. And I remember thinking how I don't want our generation's UN Secretary General to stand up in 2050 and tell everyone that our generation's failed, which is what he said. Like, he recognized that he has failed and his generation has failed us. And to think that we can just pass on a baton and responsibility generation after generation cannot happen. And so, recognizing that we will all get older one day, we'll no longer be young people, I think it's so important that we start being mentors and champions, being allies for the next generation already, for Gen Z, for Gen Alpha, for us to be the elders that we want or have wanted in our lives, to look back, and even what Sam Loney was saying to us in terms of advice for our younger selves. But what advice would we give for the next generations and to lead that way already? Well, we're still young enough to be able to provide and learn and fail. I think it'll be so wise for us to start doing that work and build up the next generation so that we can have that intergenerational allyship that we speak of and walk that talk.
Dare to fail, because this is how you get things. And I love what you said about let's be the elders that we wish we had. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, Philip.
Just a very brief quote that just came to mind on the topic of hope. Eleanor Roosevelt said that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Just wanted to.
Thank you. We do have a lot of dreams. We have Caitlin and then Monica.
Just quickly, so I make toolkits and trainings as part of SDSN Youth, and rather than asking your permission to uplift the amazing stories that I've heard in this room, I'm going to accept your partnership and include them as part of our new training series that we're developing actually for some of our youth leaders, and use them to really be shining examples, because they've been so inspirational to us all here, but then we're going back to our communities, and I think that there's a larger platform. So I think building off of the intention of Antonio to sort of have them be centralized and connecting us all with each other, I would also love to bring them back to our SDSN youth training cohorts.
So much. And by the way, there were so many resources mentioned throughout the last 2 days that it will be good to maybe put them in a list and have some sort of framework that we can use for future initiatives. Monica, please.
I hope I'm really the last. But we have forgotten one thing, ladies and gentlemen. we have forgotten to give a big round of applause to all of the SDSN moderators, and particularly to Kayla, Raquel, and Tara. So please, let's do that before we leave. Thank you. Thanks.